Welcome to Faith in 5, a weekly video devotional designed to discuss practical spiritual concepts in 5 minutes or less. I'm your host, Mark Vandella.
There are a few things that I do not understand. I know only a few. It's surprising. But a couple of things, like I behave in a way that makes sense even though I don't fully understand. And maybe you're something like me. So I change my oil every 3,000 to 5,000 miles. I don't exactly understand why. I mean, I know, and you could explain it to me all you want. I can Google search it. I still won't fully understand or comprehend why. I just know I'm supposed to. I also try to manage the amount of calories I put in my body, and I know that at some point the number of calories you put in either translates to energy or fat or muscle. I know all of that. I don't fully understand how that works. And then there's some little trivial things that sometimes people joke about, the existential questions, things like when ice cream is solid and in a bowl, it's a food, but when ice cream becomes a milkshake, it's a drink. That's kind of confusing, right? Or if you drop soap on the floor, does the floor become clean or does the soap become dirty? Or the one that really blows my mind, if you expect the unexpected, does that make the unexpected expected? Now, I'm saying all these things because I think that sometimes our need for control and certainty and understanding all of the things in a world that we can't quite understand all the things is maddening. We as humans desire control and we grasp for control, and sometimes that inspires us to do big new things, research things that have never been done, and sometimes it makes us behave in ways that are just unbecoming. They make us do things that are not necessarily aligned with our faith. And so we're in our series called Beautiful Things, and we're really exploring what do we have to do to live this deep, rich, meaningful life, the life that we all desire. Brene Brown calls it wholehearted living in her book, The Power of Vulnerability. And so we've been using that book to kind of shape this series called Beautiful Things. And one of the things that she says in that book is one of the keys to wholehearted living is letting go of certainty and fostering or cultivating our intuition. And so sometimes I think intuition feels like it is at the expense of things that we know, and then also our desire to know everything and be in 100% full control is really up against our need for certainty. So last week we talked about our concern for scarcity. This is the concern for certainty. And I think that the Bible addresses this in a number of different ways, in a number of different places. One of the places that it resonated with me is in Philippians. So in Philippians 4, 6 through 7, Paul is talking about prayer and anxiety and the worry that we often go through. And he says, do not be anxious about anything. Easier said than done, right? Don't be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your request to God. And let the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. And so it seems to me like Paul is acknowledging this desire or this need inside of us for some semblance of certainty, but also saying, look, there are some things you can control. And in those spaces, you should give it your best. You should pray to God, have conversations with God about those things. And that will give you this stirring of your soul of, I understand there's some intuition here, my gut's telling me. And yet there's also some things that we can understand, right? Paul says, the peace of God which transcends all understanding. So he's even admitting there are some things we can manage, we can understand, and there are some things we can't. And unfortunately, the answer is, go figure all those things out, or that you can hold all of that in your hands. In order to have more meaning, in order to just be more comfortable in this world, we do have to find that balance, that juxtaposition between things that we can feel good about and know and act on and begin to trust some of those things, but also let go of some of the things that we can't manage. Richard Rohr often talks about dualistic thinking and non-dualistic thinking. Dualistic thinking would say we can or we can't understand. And he challenges the fact that it's actually probably both, because we are both mind and heart and soul. we exist in both of those spaces. And I love that Brene kind of challenges that in really trying to help us figure out, how do we do this life? And so I want to leave you with the Serenity Prayer. I think that it communicates kind of a place of sitting similar to what Paul's talking about in Philippians. But I thought it was a good way for us in our faith this week to reflect on the Serenity Prayer. It says, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, but the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So this week in your faith, try to find that center spot between both of those things. There are things we can change and should change. There are also things we cannot change, we cannot understand. And look for the spaces for God to stir in you so that you can find that wisdom of which one you're sitting in that moment.
Thanks for watching Faith in 5. If you like what you see, please like and share. If you're interested in making a donation to our ministry, please click the link below.